kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
Far beneath the shimmering surface of a vast cerulean ocean, life thrived in every nook and cranny. Sunlight filtered through the gently rippling water like golden ribbons, illuminating a world of vibrant colors and mesmerizing sounds. Here, the coral reef stood as a bustling metropolis of marine life. Among this enchanting realm swam a graceful dolphin named DeFu. DeFu was no ordinary dolphin. With a sleek silvery blue body and eyes that sparkled like tiny sapphires, she possessed a curiosity and kindness that set her apart. Ever since she was a calf, DeFu had roamed these underwater gardens. The ocean was her home, a boundless, mysterious world where every creature played a part in the grand symphony of life. The reef teemed with color. Schools of fish flickered like living rainbows. Sea turtles, ancient and wise, glided slowly past, and tiny shrimp performed their intricate dances among the coral. DeFu's days were filled with wonder. She explored hidden grottos beneath towering coral walls and played tag with her friends, a spirited group of dolphins and playful fish who regarded her as their gentle leader. In the coral labyrinth, she marveled at the delicate structures built over centuries. Within this paradise, many creatures depended on the reef's shelter. A family of clownfish darted between the swaying tentacles of sea anemones, their bright orange bodies a stark contrast against the blue backdrop. Colorful parrotfish chewed and grazed on the coral, inadvertently spreading life-giving particles. But beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, a quiet worry was beginning to stir. For months, a subtle change had crept into the vibrant harmony of the reef, a disturbance that only a few of the wise elders could sense. Small fragments of discarded fishing gear and broken traps had begun to appear. One radiant morning, while the reef shimmered with a dazzling display of life, DeFu noticed something amiss. As she playfully swam near a cluster of branching corals, she saw a flash of metal tangled among the delicate formations. Drawing closer with cautious curiosity, she discovered a cruel contraption. In that moment, the underwater world seemed to hold its breath. DeFu's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. She remembered the whispered warnings of older dolphins, tales of human intruders whose careless acts could harm not only individual creatures, but the entire ecosystem. Determined to act, DeFu circled the trap, her mind racing. She knew that if the trap was not removed, more marine life would fall victim to its cruel design. But the trap was not something she could simply untangle with her fins. It was a human device, built to be robust and unforgiving. That night, as the moonlight filtered down in silver beams and the ocean hushed to a gentle lull, DeFu found herself restless. The rhythmic pulse of the tide, the soft rustling of seaweed in the current, and the distant songs of other dolphins all filled the darkness. Yet in her heart, a quiet urgency grew. In the stillness of the night, DeFu swam in slow, determined circles around the reef, contemplating what she could do. The ocean was vast, but it was also connected, a world where every action rippled outward like a wave. She recalled the lessons passed down by her elders, that courage and cleverness could overcome threats. DeFu decided that she must act. not only to save the trapped creatures but also to alert those who might help. She remembered stories of fishing boats that sometimes sailed near the reef, a world above the water where humans, with their great machines and loud voices, roamed. With a newfound resolve, DeFu began to prepare for the moment that would change everything. Over the course of the following days, she studied the patterns of the surface, observing the way sunlight danced on the waves and how the silhouettes of boats moved in the distance. DeFu's friends in the reef noticed her unusual focus. A curious angelfish named Aurora and a wise old turtle called Tico swam alongside her as she explained her plan in soft, melodic clicks. "I must make a great leap," she communicated with gentle urgency. Encouraged by the support of her friends, DeFu practiced her jumps in secret. Near a quiet lagoon where the water was calm and the risk minimal. Time and again, she soared from the surface, her body arching gracefully through the air, splashing down with a powerful surge. The day of destiny arrived on a bright, clear morning. The ocean was alive with a gentle hum, a chorus of clicks, whistles, and the soft lapping of water against coral. Word had spread among the reef creatures that DeFu's moment was near, and every living being waited with bated breath. As the sun climbed higher, casting golden beams that danced on the surface, DeFu swam to the open expanse. Her heart raced with anticipation and a quiet determination. She knew that if her leap could reach high enough, its splashing arc and the radiant spray of water would create a dazzling display. Gathering all her strength, DeFu propelled herself upward with a mighty surge. For a breathtaking moment, she ascended into the sky, her silvery blue form glinting in the sunlight. The water erupted around her in a magnificent spray, sparkling like countless diamonds as it cascaded back down into the ocean. High above the reef, a fishing boat was slowly making its way along a well-worn shipping lane. The boat's crew, seasoned fishermen with weathered faces and kind eyes, had been battling a gentle day at sea when suddenly a spectacular sight caught their attention. The fishermen exchanged amazed glances. "Look at that!" one of them exclaimed, pointing toward the miraculous leap. "That's no ordinary dolphin. It's as if she's calling out to us." The excitement on the boat grew as they steered closer, their hearts stirred by the unexpected display. The sight of DeFu's incredible leap sent ripples of hope through the hearts of those on board. The fishermen, long familiar with the wonders of the sea and its creatures, immediately sensed that something was amiss beneath the surface. With practiced hands, they lowered a small boat into the water. As the rescue vessel drew nearer, DeFu swam back toward the coral with a graceful urgency. Her eyes darted across the reef, and she soon found what she had hoped for: a tangle of fishing lines and a cruel trap ensnaring a cluster of small, frightened marine creatures. Without hesitation, DeFu circled the danger, her heart pounding with determination. With a series of quick, precise maneuvers, she used her agile body to nudge and prod the trap, attempting to loosen its grip. Her efforts, though courageous, were not enough on their own. On the boat's deck, the fishermen watched with concern as DeFu's actions unfolded. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, they sprang into action. One of the fishermen, a gentle soul named Captain Elias, guided his small rescue boat carefully into the reef's edge. The teamwork between the humans and the marine inhabitants was nothing short of miraculous. As Captain Elias and his crew carefully cut away the ropes and dismantled the trap, DeFu remained by their sides, circling protectively. The rescued creatures, though shaken, began to swim freely once more. In the days following the rescue, the once troubled coral reef began to heal. With the dangerous trap dismantled and the ropes severed, life returned gradually to its former vibrancy. Tiny fish that had once darted in fear now swam freely among the delicate branches of coral. The once stranded seahorse wriggled joyfully back to its hidden nook. The reef, bathed in renewed sunlight, sparkled as if sprinkled with stardust, a sign that nature, though scarred, was resilient. DeFu swam slowly along the reef's edge, her sleek body cutting through the crystal clear water. Every flick of her tail carried a promise of renewal. The vibrant colors of the coral and the shimmering schools of fish seemed to sing in unison, a soft, melodic tribute to survival. Even the ancient sea turtles, who had witnessed many a storm, nodded in silent approval. Among the residents of the reef, whispers of DeFu's miraculous leap had become legend. The rescued creatures shared their stories in hushed, grateful clicks and chirps. The reef was not merely a collection of organisms, it was a living tapestry of hope. DeFu's heroic act had reminded every creature that even in the vastness of the ocean, a single burst of courage could spark a chain reaction of healing. Word of the miraculous rescue soon transcended the boundaries of the reef. High above the waves, on a modest fishing boat that had once roamed the blue expanse in search of bountiful nets, Captain Elias and his crew couldn't help but share the astonishing tale. The fishermen saw DeFu's leap as a clear message from the ocean, a call for help, a signal of hope. Back at the harbour, local marine conservation groups and coastal communities gathered to discuss the incident. They realized that the same traps and discarded fishing gear that had threatened the reef were part of a larger problem affecting the entire ocean. Meetings were held in small community centers where fishermen, scientists, and environmentalists debated how best to protect the sea from further harm. Inspired by DeFu's bravery, a coalition was soon formed, a new alliance that spanned both land and sea. This coalition promised to monitor the coastline, to clean up discarded nets and gear, and to educate local communities about sustainable fishing practices. The story of a single dolphin's miraculous leap had ignited a movement, a ripple of change that reached far beyond the coral gardens. As the coastal coalition took shape, DeFu found herself at the center of a grand new alliance. The ocean's residents, both marine and human, recognized that they shared a common destiny. Under the guidance of Captain Elias, local fishermen pledged to become stewards of the sea. In parallel, marine biologists and conservationists began extensive studies of the reef, seeking to understand how best to rehabilitate and protect it. DeFu's underwater world transformed into a hub of cooperation. Along with her friends, the playful angelfish Aurora, the wise old sea turtle Tico, and countless other creatures, a network was formed to patrol the reef. Daily meetings were held in hidden grottos where the creatures would exchange signals, share warnings, and celebrate small victories. Even the shy seahorses and darting shrimp contributed their part to this new symphony of teamwork. In one particularly stirring moment, as the sun sank low and the ocean shimmered with the hues of twilight, a large gathering took place at a special alcove of the reef. Here, representatives of the marine world and emissaries from the coastal coalition joined in a quiet ceremony of unity. The message was clear. Through collaboration, the ocean could overcome any threat. DeFu, gliding at the center of this gathering, became an enduring symbol of hope, a guardian whose leap had bridged the gap between two worlds. In the weeks that followed, as the coalition's efforts gained momentum, DeFu took on a new role. No longer was she merely the brave dolphin whose leap had saved lives. She was now recognized as the guardian of the reef. Every day, she patrolled the borders of her underwater home, her sharp eyes vigilant for any sign of danger. Along her journey, she would greet younger dolphins and even guide lost fish back to safety. One serene morning, as soft beams of sunlight filtered through the water, DeFu gathered with her closest friends near a cluster of brightly colored corals. In the gentle hum of the ocean, she made a solemn vow, a promise to remain ever watchful, to protect the fragile balance of the reef, and to inspire all who lived there to stand together. "I promise," she communicated in a series of clear, resonant clicks and whistles, "to be the beacon of hope and unity for our home. No harm shall come to our reef as long as we work as one." Her vow resonated deeply throughout the community. The reef glowed with renewed purpose, and every creature, from the tiniest plankton to the grand sea turtle, seemed to join in the promise. It was a moment of collective determination, a silent pledge that their underwater world would be safeguarded by the united hearts of all its residents. Just as harmony was being restored, nature decided to test the strength of the new alliance. One fateful day, an unexpected shift in the ocean's currents brought with it a powerful storm. Dark, swirling waters churned above the reef. A sudden drop in temperature sent shivers through every creature. The once calm sea transformed into a roiling cauldron of turbulent energy, and the fragile corals began to tremble under the onslaught of the storm. DeFu and her allies quickly sensed that this was no ordinary tempest. It was a trial, a challenge to the faith and unity of every marine inhabitant. As the waves crashed violently and the water became a chaotic symphony of noise and motion, many creatures huddled together for safety. DeFu, however, knew that this was a moment for action. With unwavering courage, she swam into the heart of the storm. She guided lost schools of fish to sheltered crevices, and with her agile leaps, she helped smaller creatures escape the crushing force of the waves. It was a desperate struggle against nature's fury, and every second counted. The storm roared with a relentless intensity, testing the bonds of the alliance and the strength of every promise made. As the tempest raged on, the efforts of the coalition shone through. Captain Elias and his crew, alerted by the heightened signals from the coastal monitors, navigated their boat closer to the reef. They deployed emergency equipment to help anchor vulnerable areas. Together, humans and sea creatures fought against the fury of the storm, driven by the belief that unity could tame even the wildest of tempests. After what seemed like an eternity of battling the storm, the tempest finally began to subside. The turbulent waves softened into gentle swells. and the dark, brooding clouds gave way to the first tender blush of dawn. Slowly the reef emerged from the ordeal, battered but unbroken. The storm had tested every creature's resolve. In the hours that followed, the underwater world stirred with a renewed sense of gratitude. The coral, though marked by the storm's violence, began to shimmer with fresh hues, as if nature itself was determined to heal. The resilient fish and other marine inhabitants resumed their gentle dances among the corals, and the sea, now calm and clear, reflected the golden light of a new day. DeFu, still vigilant from her patrol, witnessed this transformation with a profound sense of relief. The guardians of the reef, both marine and human, had proven that even the fiercest storm could be weathered when hearts and minds joined in a common cause. The alliance that had begun with a single miraculous leap had grown into a formidable force. News of the storm's survival and the successful efforts of the coalition spread throughout the coastal community. Local media celebrated the heartwarming story of a brave dolphin and the unity of the marine world, inspiring people far and wide to cherish and protect the ocean. If you like our stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you won't miss exciting stories every day. You are also welcome to share it with family and friends to listen to the story together. Love you.